Hey, tomorrow's Crazy J. Is audio running? Yep, audio's running. Cool. Gonna find out why the heck this board, which has come out of ultrasonic cleaning, was working earlier today. Now suddenly does not want to work. This does happen occasionally when boards come out of ultrasonic. It's like they become purified or something, realize they're MacBooks and decide, that's it, I'm a MacBook, I don't want to work anymore, it's over, I'm ending it. Double timing, yeah, a bit like that. Hey, Cosman, Sutterbridge, Harry, Eddie, how's it going, Eddie? Sir Daniels, yes, I could probably take to that naming. Probably shouldn't. Alright, so the area that we had, that we were repairing on this, if you remember today, was this SMC area. And it was working before we put it through the ultrasonic, so it's entirely possible there was actually a bubble of water that didn't come out in the drying phase. It had a very strange fan spin behavior. It would spin for about 10 seconds. This is a 3437, by the way. It would spin for about 10 seconds and stop, and then start again and not stop, which is really not a normal behavior for a 3437. Yeah, typically 3437 should do the spin, stop, spin, go. And I really can't see anything. I'm actually going to give it another go. It's been about 3 hours since I tried it, so if it was a last bit of water or something like that, it may be cleared through. I think I might just stick it in the ultrasonic, the drying oven for another 10 minutes. It's very annoying. Sutterbridge, no, we will not be SMC reballing if I can help it. Yeah, fluid under the CPU can sometimes do this. Usually it gets driven out with because I put a 20-minute 120 degrees centigrade, and if this is that fault, then this would be about the first time that the drying oven has not succeeded. Sutterbridge, that's not a bet I'm willing to take. Alright, so we've got the current meter. Yeah, we've got that. Let's see how it goes now. Yeah, it's still doing it. See, it tried to slow down for a split second there. It's not doing it. Hey, Anafan. Yeah, I was getting out of control. Let's check to see if SMC reset or something is being pulled high. Low, rather. No spins. Let's see, SMC, because SMC reset was that resistor that we changed. Let's see if maybe it's... Oh, shoot me. Okay. Let's see if maybe it's running high or low or whatever. Oops. Hey, that's crazy. That's weird. Oh, I know why. This is why I like benchtop meters because you don't have to stuff around like this every single time you want to bring things up from the cold. Okay, 3.4. I'm just not sure which end is which. 3.39. Okay, so SMC, there is a bit of current pull down on that. A little more than I would expect. So it could be the SMC. 80 City. Like, to give you an idea, like on this side we have 342, which is what we expect. And then on this side we have 338. So yeah, it's dropping 40 to 50 millivolts. It's not a lot, but it's more than I'd expect. Hey Neil, yeah, the heat pipe video. Just something I quickly threw up. Some people would say yes, the music is an example of throwing up. It's not exactly the easiest thing to pick an audio track for. Now the reason why I have an audio track on those is because I don't have the microphone on. And I've noticed that people respond even worse to a silent video than they do to some cheesy music video. They prefer to at least have something to hate. A3X, MS, Tomorrow's. I should check under that little MOSFET switch there. Mind you, that's more of SSD stuff, I think. Yeah, that's SSD. So I'd be surprised about that. That there's for the SSD. Now, if you remember, we had undercutting on this one. We had these being a little bit loose. But the thing is, it worked after we'd already replaced the parts. So we know that the parts are correct. Something in the ultrasonic process has upset it. And I'm just probing around to see if anything comes loose. Neil Lamb getting a calico at a shelter with only 3 legs. Dog bit one off. Holy cruel. Gonna call her tripod. Well, that's traditional at least. I might put this in the heater for another, say, 20 minutes. See if it behaves when it comes out. Sometimes you can just get a blob of water that locks itself in there. And we'll work on another machine in the meantime. Let's see, what have I got next on the queue? Where the heck are all the machines that I had come in this morning? Ah, right. come on. Let's get the barcode on. Oops. Hey, Ron Rogers from Missouri. Yep, barcode scanned. Let's get these screws out. So what have we got here? There's water damage. I think an issue with backlight chip rather than LCD. Image shape faintly. Okay, so there's hope for that. There's hope for that. Maybe a classic backlight. It may be something worse. We don't know. Could be a dead LCD flex. Cable rather. That's okay. We do them now too. A little risky, but we do them. Crunchy audio flippin'. I don't know what to do about this. Just gonna put it in another pocket. See it going nuts. See, I can shake it around. I can do all sorts of things physically, and it doesn't misbehave. I really need to find a USB extension lead. I did have one. Let's see if I can find it now. Desperate times. It really does seem more like an automatic gain control problem. Instead of I experienced it on the other one. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing happening here, but it's actually worse. Because I think they probably upped the signal strength on these things. So by upping the signal strength, I've actually made this scenario more severe. Okay, we do indeed, looks like, have an extension lead. Alright, I'm just going to plug this in, so you'll lose audio for a second. Let's see how that goes. Alright, I can see this is not a backlight chip already. You can see this is a colossal wipeout around the backlight area instead. Just trying to adjust this camera, it's kind of gone off wonk a bit. There we go. We'll see how the sound goes. Like I say, it's because I'm so close to the receiver, and I suspect they pumped up the dB output on the transmitter to try and get some more range, but it causes a great deal of confusion for the portable receiver being this close. 365. There's Scott Phillips in UK, Hatra. Let's see, right, we need to get the... I'm up way past what I should be for this sort of repair work, but I thought I would get some jobs done while I could. Okay, SSD. Hey ZX, how's it going? I mean, it stands to reason that the AGC would get a little upset. I mean, most of the times if you're using one of these, the amplifier is going to be at the other end of the stage or something like that. You know, you're not expecting to stand within 2 meters of it. It's past midnight here. It's 18 past already. Anyway, let's have a look at this colossal... Yep. Yep. Oh, wow. That's... Hopefully... Please do not have it gone into the connector. Ah, damn it. Oh, if we clean that up, we might get lucky, but... cranky. That's pretty much the full Monty on that one. Yeah, I think that's going to be a cable replacement. I mean, I really hope it isn't, but I'm also being a little bit pragmatically really... if it's just melted plastic, that's fine. Actually, yeah, maybe we can save this one. That's actually savable. If we try to put something in there to... Yeah, that might work. Yeah, burnished. Yeah, that's one word. It's certainly it cooked up a bit. Oh, it really did. Well, we'll have to take the board out anyway. Martin, I suspect it's because they don't plan, unlike the phones, they're sort of going, well, there's no real reason why people should have the MacBooks around water. And chances are, it wouldn't matter if they did put protection in. Most of the time, there'd still be ways of liquid to ingress. So it's kind of better off to just not do anything, deal with it, and besides, it gives me a job. I don't want Apple fixing things that I need to fix. Apple's my moneymaker. Apple is my golden goose. You get board views, you get schematics, you get a wide range of support. They don't change models every 6 months. And there's a long lifespan on them, a good resale value. Yeah, that's really, it's a very nice market to be in. Which is why every man and his donkey is all of a sudden a MacBook repair specialist. All thanks to Lewis Rossman and his Tony Robbins positive thinking style. I mean, we are getting to the point where now other stores are trying to cannibalize other stores, and I see that iPhone or phone repair stores are starting to come into the MacBook area too. I think because they cannibalize themselves, well, too many of them, so to speak. And the market's gotten a little thin, people are starting to starve, so they move on to greener pastures, which of course is the MacBook world. That the glue comment there, that is something I do find interesting. Is a lot of people will say, I know you haven't said this to Morris, but I see a lot of comments even on places like Slashdot where people say Apple glues everything together, and it's like, have you pulled apart some of the um, cheap phones or other brand phones compared to say an Apple phone? I mean, yeah, there is some two-sided tape and whatnot, and the battery is bonded down. But compared to a lot of the Android phones, like the HTC ones and stuff like that, the Apple iPhones are mostly screws and latches and things like that. There's very little glue in them in comparison. Oh, and the backlight chip is... Wow, they really went all out. Okay. Alright. No, we'll play that game. SMC almost had a bit of... And it's always... People have always been taking this down to the beach, it seems. There's always sand in here. Maybe they're fans of Greece. That's sandy. Sandy. Anyway. Yes, I was one of the many young Gen Xers who fell deeply in love with Olivia Newton-John, and then she follows up with Xanadu. How could you not? Because I didn't approve of the permed hairstyle and the black tight leotard outfit when you get to the end of Greece. No siree. How dare she? Ah, the joys of 10-year-old life. Referring to the screen that you're working on right now, for example, replace... Oh yeah, I mean, okay, there, that's legit. Alright, we've got a job ahead of us. We've got to take that off, we've got to... Oh, goodness knows how much of this we're going to have to change. A moderate amount, I dare say. It lives in a pineapple under the sea. What is that? That's SpongeBob? I know a lot of people seem to like SpongeBob. I haven't really seen much of it myself. Seems a little different. Okay, that's IPA and water, 80-20. Kids force you to watch SpongeBob, fair enough. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know, is that my doing? No. There's the way the markings are there, it's like someone did try to brush it with something in the past. And they've smeared things. So did anyone get to see Lewis Rossman's video this morning when he was cursing at me? Just wondering if I haven't had a chance to review the video, but I'm hoping that he got both the multimeter and the power supply software up and running. A Fluxtor, JC Denton, I am more than content with the Amtech NC559, which is the one that Lewis has as well. Yeah, that stuff there. I know there are plenty of people who have their own personal preferences that are different to that, and I'm sure they have their reasons. I find I'm perfectly fine with the NC559, even on iPhones. I know some people do prefer a less viscous flux for iPhones, but yeah, I haven't personally run into that issue too much. Okie dokie doke, we have to get this connector off. And I am looking for... Okay, looks like I'm just going to use normal tweezers. ZX, are you singing that to the Stingray to the tune of Sandy? Stingray, yeah. I don't know. Oh, Lung Saver. Hey, Osis. Oh, Stingray killing. Oh, still too soon. Still too soon. I don't think it's ever going to be not too soon. So we're at 460. We're just doing normal MacBook stuff here. It takes a while to get this one to come up because there's a lot of heat absorption, copper planing around the place. And you also don't want to be too aggressive, otherwise you'll rip those pads up. We're starting to get there. I'm not trying to not melt the connector, I'm just trying to not damage the board. Okay, there we go. Speaking of Thunderbirds, can't wait for Starship. I've been hanging on the edge of my seat every morning, hoping to see that Starship is ready to launch. But sadly, thus far, it's been disappointment each day. I'm not sure what I'm going to feel more excited about, Starship or Falcon Heavy. I mean, when Falcon Heavy took off, that was just beautiful. So I'm kind of curious to see how I feel when I see Starship take off. I don't really need to focus too much on those two pins, I can always run them from the back. These are our two backlight pins. They're a little bit pitted, of course. Okay. Farscape. They had a character in there which was actually from my hometown. Some girl with blue hair, I think it was. She was born or lived at Magnetic Island in North Queensland, which is basically it's just an island about 7 kilometres off the town where I lived. So naturally, of course, we all claimed that we knew her, like idiots. And just to make it more interesting, it's also where Julian Assange, or whatever his name is, he went to the same school as me. I think it was a year before or a year after me. It's kind of scary. 18W. Okay, something's gone wrong with my... There we go. The wick was playing silly buggers with me. But yeah, if you look up Julius Assange, or whatever his name is, he went to Townsville Grammar School. And he also lived on the island, I believe. Okay, that looks good. What I might do is check all these parts before I put the connector on. Was that Gigi Edgley? Shiana from Farscape. Okay. I wasn't a big follower, but I didn't really follow Babylon 5 much either. That's the thing, people think I'm some sort of nerdy geek and all that, but really I don't follow much of the stuff at all. I'd be too much of a proper normal if I was in... what's that show? Big Bang. I wouldn't fit with the true geeks, the true nerds. They'd be laughing at me because I don't get half the concepts. Although I'd tell Sheldon to stick his string theory somewhere. I've read a few books on string theory and I just can't make it stick. It just doesn't seem to... It's more like a very exotic theory to cover its own shortcomings. In many ways, they sort of created enough rope to hang themselves with it. These days all you need is a clue and use Google as a hammer. Yep. Google is turning us all into geniuses. Okay, let's get a connector. Corey Postmo, you have a BS in physics and I think the best book on string theory is In Trouble with Physics. I haven't read that one. I'll have to have a look at that. Should I even bother to ask you what your standpoint is? It just seems to me that the more you dig into string theory and the more complex it becomes, it seems to be more a case of them just making it more complex to cover up the problems they find. It's like when kids write a bad novel and they just make bigger and bigger plot holes to cover up for the previous plot holes. Or what's the favourite term they use now? Plot armor. Yeah, plot armor. Kind of like what they did in Lord of the Rings. Star Trek Discovery is an STD. I gotta tell you, the first 2 seasons were fine, but I'm really starting to find my limit with this current season. The way that they are making Michael this highly emotional well, in fact, they're just making everybody highly emotional. It's like, what the heck? She's supposed to be half, trained in all the Vulcan stuff, and it's just driving me mad how they're all getting all soppy and emotional. It's like, okay, I know humans can be like that, but this is kind of going overboard. I thought it was a bit of a bad omen right from the opening scene of the new season. It was like, oh no, what have they done? String theory is an elegant theory, but it was too unicorn. Easy way of putting it. A fellow co-worker that has a PhD in physics suggested it to me when I told him string theory is BS. Okay, so we're coming from the same standpoint, where I'm not an advocate of it, and I'm finding it difficult to reconcile a lot of their stuff. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I am in no way qualified to make a proper judgment on it, but it's just, it feels, instead of things becoming clearer and clearer, like if you sort of get involved in, let's say, general relativity compared to, say, special relativity, it makes more and more sense as you prove things. Whereas string theory just seems to become less and less sense. And I'm using the wrong tip for this. Damn it, string theory has ruined yet another thing in life. I need 3 hands. Okay, this is going to have to be a quick shift. Hopefully there's enough latent heat. Crud. Ran out of latent heat. Fine. Change tips. What a pain. The problem there is that there's not enough heat output on that micro pencil for me to be able to get the solder to melt enough for me to make the little adjustment I need to make. So we'll have to get out the chisel tip. See, Corey, you also come from the camp where I don't believe in the Big Bang. Okay. I mean, I guess ultimately for me, the problem comes down to, well, you know, even if you say, okay, there was the Big Bang, then yeah, you know there's... When you try to talk about things before that, I know they don't deliberately try to hide from it, but just the fact that existence exists is enough of a nuisance. It's like, how did we even exist? At what point was there nothing? Even if you sort of go, okay, everything's just in a cyclic nature and we have the big crunch, the big bang, big crunch, well, it's still, there's got to be the first point at somewhere. And then if you go, well, it's all a big simulation joke, haha. You go, well, what about their world? So no matter how much you try to draw a circle around your theories, there's something on the outside of the circle, and that's the part that completely hurts the brain. My father did that to me as a youngster. I remember driving in the middle of the Kakadu National Park out back, and I was probably, I don't know, 7 years old, and he put to me that problem. And of course, being an idiot, I thought adults had the answer to everything. And, well, no, there was no answer. So every time I thought I'd come up with something, he'd say, yeah, well, what about beyond that? Very frustrating for a 7-year-old. Singularity got bored and decided to split. Yeah, it was probably the worst thing it ever did. It's generally considered that the universe is a bad idea. Chaos theory I've actually done a fair bit with. I do enjoy it. At the same time though, I think some people try to turn it into a bigger topic than what it really is. What's the other one? One of the worst books I ever read was on fuzzy logic. It was a terrible book for the fact that I think the person just repeated the same thing every single chapter, pretending it was something new. It's like, I get it. It's basically a case of, okay, we get fuzzy theory, that's great. Or fuzzy logic. And then they're like, well, that was a 4-page description, so I need to make this into a book. Let me just repeat that, cut paste a few dozen times and change the words. The world will end in the big tissue, well, big boogers. Hey, Greg. Yeah, the universe does keep things interesting. I'll definitely give it that at least. Well, the pins are good, but I've got a bit too much solder there. I don't normally do it with this tip, but you know, sometimes you've got to work with what you've got. We will go along and heat reflow those in a second. Hey, Rescue Mark, how's it going? It's been a while. Everything okay on your side? No, I mean, it's got to be, what, a week and a bit since we last seen you? What I am thinking with regards to notifications is if I create a mailing list, then I can just do a broadcast before I'm about to go online, so, you know, maybe that will work. Maybe some people won't want to be on a mailing list. That's fine. I understand and respect that. So if you do join the mailing list, make sure you use a burner email like Paul's YouTube at something something. So you know if you ever get spam on it, then I'm the guilty party. You gotta love how heat assist really just makes those joints look beautiful. Do a stream about the stream about to happen. Sounds like a good idea. By the way, how's the audio going? Have we had any more glitches since I shifted it? Jimbo. Should we call you Hermes? Technically correct being the best kind of correct. I know those words. Although it wasn't Hermes that said it. It was accountant number 1 or whatever his name was. Audio good, audio good. Okay. Alright, so that's that. I would say it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to clean up these beaten up components here. I wonder if that fuse is actually working. Fuse actually works. I will admit though, it looks pretty bad, so I think for the sake of my own sanity, I'm going to replace it. Yeah, I agree on that cap too. I should check and see how many people have hated on the heat pipe video. I got one comment already on the what was it, the reballing video saying worst music ever. It's like, who are these people just that come out with things like that? So what do you got, Tourette's or something, buddy? It's like, yeah, okay, I agree, it's not great music, but thanks for taking the time to come down here and lodge a report. Thank you very much, Mr. Karen. I mean, I'm not upset about it, it's just more amusing that people get compelled to have to say such things. Anyway, so I warned the person. I said, well, you better block this channel because it's about to get worse. And that's when I put out the heat camera video, which of course most definitely is even worse on the music side. Any tea on this spaceship? I think not, dear sir. There may be coffee, but consider it a tea of beans. Bean tea. There you go. Bean tea. Pop up some AC Akadaka. Yeah, but then I won't get any money on the adverts. And besides, putting Akadaka on videos is kind of like, if you're in the model aircraft world, you'll notice that every single damn video is the Top Gun theme. It's like, really? Really? That was original? Didn't see that one coming, buddy. Never respond to a troll. Oh, come on, it's fun though sometimes. You gotta admit, it is fun sometimes. Though I do concur. It's not... It may be fun, but it may not be wise. Hey, Eddie Painter. Change your naming there. Steve K, yeah, there was some music. The latest one anyway. Put some random SoundCloud rapper. How about some dubstep? Benny Hill thing. Oh, no, come on. Putting Benny Hill on there, that would make me rage. I would then be the person logging in just to make a post. Come on, melt. Very difficult to get these areas to melt. Mark, yeah, I've just had to change things up a little bit. The hair was getting to the point where I was getting strangled in bed, and in a way that wasn't appropriate. Like I'd wake up in the middle of the night and my hair would be doing its best to asphyxiate me. What zoom level is my scope? Hey, engineering. Hey, good to see you. Do you mean the entire range or what it's currently at? Because at the moment it's at 0.7, so 7 divided by point, so point... Let's call it a 5. Right now it's at 5 times multiplication, we'll call it that. Use some chilled trance track. I tried a few Sooty and I couldn't get anything that would actually work. I have used it in some other videos, you know, synth trance, that sort of stuff, new age, but I just couldn't get it to fit with this video this time around, so I went with the jazz. Watching EEVOG's unboxing stuff. He had a portable multimeter, some GVA, GDA or something. I don't know what that is. Speaking of which, I have started the process of trying to get a credit on that multimeter that I had. I don't know if it'll be successful or not, but if I do get credit for the multimeter, the multi-comp one, then I'll put that towards getting a GW Instech one. It's still not the greatest meter, but well, first thing I'm going to do is check all the speeds, see how it performs. I don't understand why the one that I just had was so slow in continuity. I know some of them can just be that way, but it was ridiculous. Slight audio glitch. Okay. Mark, sure it's not a leader giving me... Yeah, maybe. Maybe I said something bad today. Is it possible to get a portable oscilloscope? Yes, there's plenty of those around. Anyway, so Paul cannot speak properly right now. Yeah, the multi-comp, it should have been a good meter. The O1 that it's based on, as far as I know, was a reasonable meter. But whatever they did with the firmware and maybe the hard, I don't know, but they botched it up something serious. And I basically said in the email, I said, look, I don't want to be, I'm not buying this meter to be a beta tester for you, okay? I want a proven meter. And that's fundamentally what it comes down to. I do not want to be a beta tester for their new products. Not if they're going to come out with faults like that. You know, and the continuity in the diode mode reporting being backwards and things like that. So, no thanks. You guys can do that yourselves. Shouldn't have been released. Any updates on the kittens? All good. We, obviously I'm still waiting to acquire the property, and then we'll split the land in half, and the wildlings will get half and we'll get the other half. Obviously we'll build them a nice living shed and things like that, you know, give them a good life. We will be probably, well, not ourselves, but some other people will be holding on to at least 2 of the wildlings, and then the rest of them can just continue to be wildlings here until we can ever come across a home that we feel is appropriate for them, but who knows. But I do want to get them. Right now they spend their days over in the park or wherever they are, and I do want to have it so that they are now properly going to be contained within our property, so we know where they are. Stops them causing trouble, which is important. Space, they're going to have a proper shed. It's going to be about 3.5 meters high, maybe 4 meters high, fully insulated, air conditioned, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, ZX, that is the sad thing about... That's the other thing, is I said to him, I've got this cheap $100, $80 handheld meter, and it outperforms the benchtop one in all areas that matter to me. Even the Vicky was superior. At least with the faults that the Vicky had, or I should say the annoyances the Vicky had, I could code my way around them using the software. But I can't do that with this one. It's like, how do you detect when all of a sudden you've lost 10% of your reading values? In the sense of, instead of reading 5 volts, you're down at 4 point whatever, 4.5. Okay, probably less than 10% then. Yeah, goodness knows how many hours I wasted and how many parts I replaced because of the inaccuracy. You're out the beta test, I already know the product was... Yeah, true. What's that? 80s show. Kiki, Small Wonder Girl Robot. Oh, Vicky, Small Wonder. The only robot show I remember from the 80s was Metal Mickey. I can almost remember the tune of it too. And he'd have these lollies that he would eat, and it'd be his power up. Manufacturers wonder why people hang on to their stuff longer. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like dependability is key. Ants is breaking out into the 1990s. I've got the power. I've got the power. Dun, 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 dun. Yep. Paul, shut up and get to work. Kit the cat. Oh, well, yeah, okay, fine, yeah. Can't deny that Kit was certainly something we all, well, most of us dreamed of having. And now it's called Tesla. Alright, we need a backlight driver. Barry West. Paul, were you able to talk to a real customer service rep? I didn't talk to him, I emailed him. I'm at a significant disadvantage if I verbally talk to people because of my hearing. So instead I get everything in writing. And if they get squirmy about that, I just tell them that I like to make sure that everything is in writing and that there's no mistakes and people don't accuse each other of things. So, but at this point it does seem like the representative that I'm talking to is doing their best to see if I can get the credit and then migrate up to the better, well, hopefully better meter. Weird Science, that was a favourite movie. Looking back now, it's a bit cringy, but, well, that's the 80s for you, isn't it? 80s is pure cringe. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Bring up Flexboard View and have a look. City Collier bringing up War Games. Oh, there was one show that I was a little bit too into, and that was called Whiz Kids. I'm kind of ashamed of myself about that one, but it was pretty cool. And it didn't run for very long. Oh, crikey, I'm in trouble. Ants, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Ants contributed $34.48 through PayPal. Thank you very much, Anthony. Well, hopefully we'll get... Well, I gotta admit, we're still waiting for final approval on that. We have got preliminary approval. We are waiting on evaluation, which I can't see being too much trouble. And then after evaluation, it goes through final approval for finance, and then that's it. Hopefully, if all goes really well, that should be done by December 18. It should have been December 11, but... Oh, crikey. But the solicitor, not my solicitor, the other solicitor, stuffed up and forgot to send the email to the bank evaluators. I just heard a pop there, I hate that noise. And subsequently, we now have to wait another week before the bank evaluators turn up to check the house. These chips take an amazingly long time to drop. Yeah, The Gods Must Be Crazy was one of those ones as well where you just... Oh, Yummy Steaks here, throwing around complaints about pineapple pizza. Tell you what, Yummy Steak, I can eat pizza without pineapple and with pineapple, I don't mind. I'm versatile. Alrighty. Was there any other areas that I need to look at? Actually, I don't even know why I said versatile. Personally, I prefer to say versatile. Bit of grunge up there by the SMC. Do you know if keycaps are standardized? Can't find anyone who sells caps for my ASUS. Yeah, no, there wouldn't be any standardization there. Unfortunately, you're probably going to find yourself in a situation where you have to get an entire replacement deck, I'm afraid. So sorry. And the thing is, you can't even buy a replacement keyboard and steal the caps, because yeah, the third-party ones will be a different construction. Steve, I agree. I would prefer not to use lead-free, but I really wasn't in the mood of reballing that driver, so I had to put up with lead-free balls. Throw those little pieces into the bin. What we also have to do is actually scrub out the port there. You get a lot of flux inside that connector, and you won't get it all out using this, but you will get enough out to allow you to at least test the board without completely stuffing up the connector. Looks like we had another person who decided to be an expressionist there. I'm going to put this in my test chassis because I don't want to risk cycling that other one too many times with the connector. And we will of course test the resistance on the backlight before we fire it up. We'll plug it in and test it. Hey Paul, how's it going? Okay, we've got our MacOS boot. We've got our power supply. We're not going to bother with a fan. I'm not a fan of using the fan. Okay, those are really sloppy fit. Current looks about right. We've got a bong, it's a good start. And it has energized the back, that's not a guarantee. Hey, we've got backlight, we're good. Fixed. I'm not even going to bother booting on that. So that one's good. There is a certain quantity of these type of boards that you want to get every day. Like you pretty much want 2 or 3, ideally, 2 or 3 of these kind of jobs each day. They make your bread and butter. And that lets you then have the opportunity and the money to focus intently on the more difficult boards. And the ones that maybe might lead you to discovering a new type of fault. Things that could help the greater community. Whereas if all you do are these sort of standard boards, then you don't really tend to expand your experience much. You don't get to exercise your brain and try to think outside of the current known solutions. So, like I said, 2 or 3 of these a day, they make you money, and then you can basically use up all your unused experience points on trying to fix the other one. So that's going to go into the ultrasonic. I'll just put that down. We'll test to see what the other boards are like now. Oh, that was squeaky. This is cooled right down. Full hell, that's not good. Being under the weather, just general bad luck, cold stuff, or something more nefarious. Hopefully just general. That feels weird. Right, let's see if we have any better luck. I suppose I should put a fan in this one. I will be able to tell if it has the proper behavior simply by the way the lights stop and start. We'll put a fan in there just to make it look easier. Thank you, Christian. Making sure people understand what's what. Alright, here we go. No, still stuck at 410. Something's... So it's not a bobble under the... So even though it shut it down, it's taking too long. Like, it shouldn't take that long for it to get to the point where it does the shutdown and then brings it up. And yeah, 410 is a very strange value. I'm genuinely not sure what to think about it. I suppose we're going to have a look at the cheat cam. CPU's getting warmer. Oh, that's not a good sign. Fan spin's picking up more severely. Okay. Kinda wonder if we get a blinking blink right now, it's gonna be a very strange fault. Almost like the clock's running slow. The extra current could be simply from the fan spinning more, but it shouldn't account for 200 milliamps though. Please don't be a crack in the PCH. Yeah, I'll be really upset about that. Reflow SMC, it's certainly threatening that, isn't it? Well, we'll take the heatsink off and have a look. For those of you who do have sensitive stomachs, I do suggest turning away until we can confirm or deny such possible horrors. No, it's pretty good. The mirror surface is perfect. All safe. What solder? Well, we don't know. We don't know. That was with regards to... solder was referring to actually reballing it. And I'm just going to reflow it. Yeah, but that PCH looks fine. And this is a 3437, so it's quite unusual. 165s on the other hand, yeah. Is that a hole in that? No. Just a piece of junk. SMC reset seems fine. Put the heatsink back on. There's no point in me redoing the paste at this point because since it's going to get flux all over it again, it's going to have to go for another ultrasonic wash. Yeah, I think you're right there. Who am I talking to? Jimbo, yes, I think you're right about Yummy Steak. He must have had a bad childhood experience. Maybe steak attacked him or something. Pineapple, I mean. Maybe he fell on a pineapple face first. That'd be traumatic. Alright, let's see what V-core is. Um, volts 1.8, that seems fine. PP bus 855, that's fine. Yep. AJ, I have to say thank you for your recent video about adding IPA to the SMC reballing. Did help quite a lot. Successfully done 2 SMCs now. Oh, cool. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it was a bit of an accidental find for me. I spilt some IPA on, and I was going to redo the whole job. But I thought, yeah, I'll just see what happens when I rub the balls with the IPA. And they behaved a lot better than non-IPA'd version. And so I thought, hey, I'll try this with a SMC outright and, as an actual intended thing. I was very happy with the outcome. Faster, cleaner, easier. Just all the things you want. Okay, has that drifted off that? Flash the BIOS. If Pianov was here, he'd tell you how much I'm not a big fan of doing BIOS type behavior stuff, particularly that there was no corrosion in the BIOS area. All our corrosion was over here in this section, so more likely we've got something under the SMC. I have to take the edge bonding off. We'll get our Grim Reaper. It could be EFI, except it was working prior to the ultrasonic. That's why I'm not overly inclined to go with the EFI. If it wasn't working before, then okay, fine, you might have a point. But the fact that it does, well, it was working. Anything in the clock area? Couldn't see anything when I was looking at it before. Just be careful if you do use these kind of tools. It can be very easy to destroy the tracks, the traces. So just keep it in mind, that's all. Half the time just being mindful is enough to stop you doing stupid things. It's kind of like when you don't know how to open, or you're not sure how something opens on a laptop or a computer, and it seems like it's impossible and you feel like you're going to damage it. But then as soon as you check on YouTube or a technical document and you see that, no, you're actually doing it the right way, all of a sudden you're able to do it. So having knowledge and confidence of you're doing the right thing is half the battle. Twang! Right in my face. Just gonna get rid of this. Is this year? Eddie Payne, glad we're getting close to the end of 2020. First of the 18th of January 21 will be 1 year sober. Ah, that's an achievement. That's an achievement. It's certainly the hardest the first couple of years. So congratulations on doing that. Arnold G, yes I do. I'm on the Rossman Discord. I've got a channel in there. There's no point in me having my own Discord server. There's a lot more to be gained by participating on the Rossman server and just sitting around in my channel if you want to. I didn't even create the channel. I believe it was Lewis. I think that's botched. I kind of skipped and lifted. I think I botched that. I may have to... God damn it, I'm going to have to re-bowl. Damn you. Damn it. Someone's going to be laughing now. Someone's going to be like, ha ha ha, told you so. Hey Celia from Poland. Blast. I think it was high. Okay. Reballing. The problem was that there was a little piece of edge bonding still down there, and instead of being able to just get to tap and have it bounce back, it tapped and skewed, which caused a whole bunch of trouble. Yeah, there you go. I didn't get that one. Okay, or that one. Oh, that's it. That was not a very good job at all. Now, the trouble here is that nothing here looks like it was problematic. Fantastic. Crikey, 1:20 in the morning already. Don't know why I'm up so late entertaining people. Not like I make money out of this. Hey Pernov, good to see you. Pernov, strange 34-37 boot sequence. Its fan spins for about 10 seconds, stops, then fan spins indefinitely after that. No PCH damage visible, which I know is normally 165, and draws 400 milliamps. It's not a figure I normally see. Have you seen it? Sort of use your brain since you've got a huge brain. PV bus is right, SMC reset is right, V-core is 1.8, we do have a warm CPU. How come you haven't done any phones though? I don't really get many of them, and a lot of the time I actually send them down south to Bill Yamara's. I think I've just bastardized the pronunciation of his name, from A1 Mobiles. I try to make sure that I can do what I can to make sure his business keeps going too, because a lot of the time the people that would send me the stuff are in that area anyway, down in Melbourne, Sydney area. Yeah, not many people are up my way. That is blimmin' atrocious, ball. Come on. where's your sense of self-pride doing the... Ah. Platform reset? Oh, jeez. I don't think I did. Anyway, I've got to... I was just trying to reflow this SMC and, well, I botched it. So now I have to reball the SMC. Much to the amusement of all those around. It was working before. It went through an ultrasonic clean, came out not working, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's just a bit of junk, yeah, a bit of water bubble or something like that that didn't get out. Put it through another drying cycle, which is 20 minutes at 120, by the way, and I've never had any problems before, and it's still doing it. So yeah, originally there was corrosion around the SMC area. So that's why we decided, well, we'll try and reflow the SMC. I botched it up because I didn't get rid of the edge bonding well enough. And, well, that's it. You're all up to date now. Hey, Nuts and Prouds here. Hey, Nuts and Prouds. Hey, Martin R's here. Anyway, we'll just grind our way through this job. There's a lot of grey pads. Scratching it up a bit much. Yeah, time to bring out the reball and tray. Goes without saying, do not make large inhaling motions while doing that. Not unless you want to die a horrible death. Hey, Nuts and Proud, my fur kid called Cat is watching stretched my... Oh, cool. It's nice having cats like that. Ravi, it's 1:30 in the morning here, basically. I'm just cleaning up the stencils and things like that. Oh yeah, I mean, sure. I'll take an SMC over a PCH. No questions about that. Gotta remember to drop that temperature right back and the airflow. So we're just a couple of balls short. We'll just manually put those in. I'm sure I'll get better over time with this new technique for guessing how many balls I need. But that looks... okay, we've got two up the top there I missed. No good. Mark, I'm using 0.35. So like the stencil calls for 0.3 and I'm using 0.35. If you use 0.3, there's too often they will double up. If you use 0.4, they're not going to fit. I'm starting to think I need a little bit more airflow when it comes to this phase. They're still the same 0.35s. I think what you're seeing is perhaps the, or at least initially, was the effect of using the IPA. So, we're secure. Yep. There we go. Definitely using the IPA makes it so much easier to place those balls into the holes. Okay, give it a wash down. I just realised I actually should have reflowed that before I scrubbed it. Well, I got lucky that time, they were all sitting anyway. IPA is super expensive. It's around about $7 Australian a litre here now, if you buy in bulk. Like I buy it usually in 5 litre lots. I think it was just an optical illusion, Mark, because they're definitely .35s. It's the only size that I use. Okay, Ravi, take care. If they were smaller, I would have been getting 2 or 3 into each position. And we definitely were not having that problem. Do you use Linux for printing the labels? Yes, I do, with Dymo printer. You got new glasses. Yep, that'll do it. Is that right? Double check. Wait, what? That seems wrong. I'm almost certain that should be... What? My brain is blown up on me. Yeah, I'm right. I'm right. It is this way. I knew it felt very wrong. Tim Schumann, I just bought 25 litres of 99.9 IPA for washing resin off your DLP prints. It's exactly the same price as the exchange rate. DLP. I swear you've told me what DLP is. And I swear I've forgotten. It's all good, Mark. All good. Yeah, the hair got chopped off about 2 weeks ago now, I think. That was a big bloomin' jump. it's dancing now, that's all that matters. Resin 3D printer, thank you. Yes. Patra, yeah. Sleep I definitely could do with. Okay, let's have a look at those new ones, and they're looking pretty good. Yep, can't complain. Just put it into the cooler. Will a graphics card still function normally without an 8-pin connector? Don't know. Imagine it depends on the graphics card, but I'd say no. Oh, gee, almost lost it. Hey, Tick121, hey Cam. I already said hello to you. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm thinking people are turning up that are already here. Things like that. This is the time of the night where I start doing dumb stuff. And so that's why I usually stop doing board repairs and go start coding software for Lewis. Because it's a lot more entertaining to code mistakes for Lewis than it is to make board repair mistakes for genuine customers who aren't trying to leech off my talents. Alright, let's see how we go. What the hell happened? Okay, I've lost everything, but I'm going to try and get you back. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? I'm back. Whew. Okay, we do have a booting board. I don't know if you saw that before we lost connection there. So yeah, piece of junk maybe under the SMC. Maybe it would have been cleared just from a reflow, but I botched up the reflow, so we had to do a reball. But at least you got to see that the IPA reball, the wet reball technique, actually works in real life as opposed to being a staged event like a moon landing or something. Just kidding, I believe they did land on the moon, but hey, conspiracy theory loves the moon landing thing, so yeah. So it worked great. Thank goodness for that. So that's one board fixed. I've got a couple more to go, but it's getting late now, so I think it's time for me to wrap up. I thank the audience for sticking around, of course. And naturally, as always, subscribe, like, send me millions of dollars. Yeah, that's always good. I won't say no to that. And I will catch you maybe tomorrow. Who knows? You just have to wait and see. But until then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.